What are we up to?
Kofei Amud Aleph, 3 lines down.
Hey, right?
Yeah.
All right, we have a Geshmaka. It's a Geshmaka daf tonight.
Is it one of the most important dafim in Shas?
I'm not gonna say it's important, but
every fucking is.
it's unbelievable. What?
Martuk was on, so you can say that.
I'm not gonna say it's the most important, but it's yeah. It's
You
Geshmaka.
know, in this religion, we have a lot of important things. You have Pesach, Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, Hanukkah. So a lot of important dafim. I don't know why everyone has to bother every time. There's a lot of important things.
Very thanks, Naftali, for that message of support from the United Jewish Appeal.
Yeah, the Yom Tov can basically be summed up by we fought, we won, we eat.
You know, we're not quoting that manufel, but it's sheer, okay?
Which maneuver?
What?
I wasn't quoting anyone.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
Okay, I guess I was then. I wasn't, but I was.
Chaim
I don't know what that means.
Chaim knows who you were quoting. He knows who you were quoting.
I didn't even hear what he said. It got cut off.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't know. Okay.
We're 2 weeks away from a Siyum. What are we doing?
I don't know that. You got to speak to the CM people about that. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Aaron, where are you?
I don't know where
We'll
he is.
discuss it when there's no shear at 9:15 tomorrow night.
There you go. Right. Rav Chananya Bar Shalmia, the Talmid of the Rav,
Where are you?
3 lines down, Kufay Amud Aleph.
Sachem.
Yeah. So Rav Chananya Bar Shalmia, the Talmid of the Rav, Havayasu is the Dosa, the Koyalai Rav Hamnuna Saba. Right. So Rav Hamnuna Saba again was the waiter. Was it before? Was it Rav Hamnuna Saba? Or was it somebody else?
No, it was somebody else.
Remember?
It was
It
somebody
was
else.
Rav Yeva Saba. It was Rav Yeva Saba last time. Okay, this is Rav Hamnuna Saba. I don't know what's going on with the elders being the waiters. Right? So Amrulay, Zil Chazi Makdish Yoima. Right? Go see if the day was Kiddush. Right? Meaning go see if it's Shkia already. Well, Shkia. Well, I touch it as Shkia, but not necessarily as it's Shkia. But we'll get to. But anyways, so they said to him, go out and see if Shabbos came in, Nafsik, and if it is, then Nafsik v'nikvil Shabbos. We're going to be Kaveh Shabbos, meaning they're in the middle of the Suda, right? And then they're going to they'll stop the Suda, and then they'll be Makabah Shabbos. Armalahu. So he said to them, again, another story where they're using the Talmud Chacham as the waiter and they keep putting their foot in their mouth. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but they keep like, hello, you're not talking to, there's not a waiter, there's not an Amoritz over here. So you better watch what you ask for. So he said, you don't need to do it. Shabbos is covered nafsha. Shabbos is kaveh itself, right? Meaning you don't have to stop, you don't have to do a maisa. And so basically what he was telling him is be Paris Malpa Makadish. That's what he was telling him to do. You don't have to go do a Maisa bench and then make a new Su'uda LeKovet Shabbos. No, the covered Shabbos happens automatic. Right? Dama Rav Kishem Shabbos Kavas LeMaiser. Just like Shabbos is Kaveya for Maiser, Kach Shabbos Kavas LeKiddush, so too Shabbos is Kaveya for Kiddush. Meaning, what does it mean for Maiser? We know that Achilas Arai, Maiser can be eaten for Achilas Arai. Correct? You could eat a chilas arai. You could eat meiser and trumas in the field. You want a worker's in the field. You could take an apple, take an orange, and all that, right? But once Shabbos comes in and you show that you're going to bring that food to the house, right? Then that the Shabbos makes it that it's kavur, and therefore you can no longer take a chilas arai. So since Shabbos is kaveya for Maisa, so it's also kaveya, and it happens automatically. You don't have to be makabel Shabbos to do whatever it is. You have to stop eating arai. So too, it's kaveya for Kiddush.
What does Shabbos
mean?
What does it mean?
That means it's exactly that's what we're saying. That achilas arai cannot be eaten once Shabbos comes Shabbos is considered kavua for Meiser.
So
You have
are
to
we
stop
more
eating.
machmir?
What is Shabbos?
Go ahead.
Kavua for mitzvah? What does that mean?
Meaning, Meiser, you could eat apples, oranges, if you're working with your fruits. Normally, you don't have to take off Meiser until everything is completed and you brought it into the Kree and you piled it up and now it's ready to roll.
Okay.
Till then, you're allowed to eat in an arai way, in a temporary fashion. You're allowed to eat.
That's what is Shabbos.
But once you kaveya it, then you're not allowed to eat from it. So Shabbos is kaveya for Meiser.
So you're allowed to bring it straight from the yard into your house on Shabbos?
Well, if it's not Meiser already, then you can't because it's muksa, because you're not allowed to take off the Meiser on Shabbos. That's a different sugya.
What does it mean? So,
Right? Meaning, so Friday afternoon, you have a bunch of apples and oranges that were not Meiser sitting in your house, but I don't know if they were in your house, because once they come into the house, it's also kavua. It's outside in your yard,
yeah.
right? You didn't yet handle all the apples and oranges.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, only once you pile them up and you put them together, now it's considered that it's kavua, and you're no longer allowed to eat from them until you take off Meiser. That's the halacha.
Okay.
But Shabbos makes it kavua even if you did not yet pile them up.
Isn't that the Mishnah by Madlikin?
Is it a Mishnah by Madlikin? Well, that you have to which part?
Right?
Right. Yeah. That's what you got to take care of it before Shabbos. But it happens automatic. So you can no longer even eat arai once Shabbos. So since you can't eat arai, so Shabbos is kaveya. Right? So that's all. So
How
that's
come
the same way it's kaveya for Meiser. What are you saying?
How come the Tanoim and Amirah were not makbid at all into Sefer Shabbos? It wasn't even a haven.
Who says that?
Well, maybe they
Who
were in a
says they
Sudas
weren't?
mitzvah. They were having a pidyon ben, Erev Shabbos.
So what?
So what do you mean?
No, I'm not talking about eating after Shah Sirius. But they said, go see if it came already. And they said, doesn't need to, because it's convey itself. Yeah, but okay, so 6 minutes before, whatever it is. So be makbid on some kind of Tisefet Shabbos. No, they don't need to. The whole Peiris Malkum Kiddush. That's all. Not the mafsik 10 minutes before. They weren't makbid at all into Sefer Shabbos. I mean, Ashub Shat and Gemara.
You don't know that for sure.
Okay, I don't know. That's a whole. I hear the question. Yeah, what do you say?
I don't believe in tais for Shabbos front or back, because Shabbos is what the Rabbanan Shalom did at that split second in time. That's when Shabbos is. What are you adding to what the Rabbanan Shalom did? What do you like Shakespeare, Havdala, for Besed and for Gresed?
Even if it's a mitzvah deraisa.
Rabbanan Shalom created the world 601. 601. That's it.
But you have a chiyuv place of Shabbos.
It's a deraisa. What do you say? It's a mitzvah deraisa.
Well, excuse me. So you just told me the Chachamim are not makbid. So make up your mind, Gershon. They didn't do mitzvah. They didn't do mitzvah deraisas. What are you saying?
I didn't Chalila tell anyone what Salom and Amiram did. I'm asking.
Oh, so I was wondering what you're saying. Now you're saying it's a mitzvah deraisa. First you said they don't do it. Then you say it's a deraisa.
I said it seems from Pashup Shat in the Gemara they didn't do it.
Evidently you don't know Pashup Shat if you're holding it to the right.
I don't know. We got to wait till we do the Tosfos. We have to wait till Yuma. It's not that far off. Yuma, the sugis in Yuma. Right?
Okay.
We just got to get through Shkolim Yerushalmi before that. Before Shkolim Yerushalmi will give us.
It's only 30 blot. Not that big a deal.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, so what the point is that since it's kaveya for Meiser, it's also kaveya automatically for Shabbos, right? So now look in the Tosfos, right, to the lechach kaveya lekiddush. She'aser lecho b'loy kiddush afilu hiskel lechem b'ayom. You have to. This was a negeya to Purim, right? It's also to eat without kiddush, even if you started eating b'ayom. Hochanami kavas l'meiser afilu hiskel lecho la'arai b'ayom. Even if you were in the middle of eating your apple Friday afternoon without meiser because it was a temporary thing, still you might say right when Shabbos comes in, then it's a problem. So the shaila in the poskim is, first of all, what about Yom Tiv? Yom Tiv's not kaveya for meiser, only Shabbos. Does that mean you could eat after Shkia? Can you eat after Shkia on Yom Tov? I once saw it was a mashmoyas that it's nishkeferla to eat after Shkia. It's very negay, but I mean, first day Yom Tov, second day Yom Tov, everybody runs after Mincha. They want a chap of coffee, they want a chap of this, right? Do you have to stop right by Shkia or not? So if it's going into Shabbos, then yeah. If it's Yom Tov, maybe it's not negay. Maybe it's not negay because Yom Tov is not. But from what I understand, the Paiskim Mamach, that's one thing. Also,
it could be very negay of Erev Pesach. If a bechor misses a siyum, and he ends up fasting, so he can eat once the time is over.
Yeah, but that's already, you're right, without Kiddush, right? That's a good point. That's a good point. Also, what's very negay is it Shkia or Tseis? That's Koveya. It's a Machlokes Rishonim here, if it's Shkia or Tseis. Bottom line is somebody is very, and also the halachos when you make early Shabbos, once you makabel Shabbos, you're no longer allowed to drink without Kiddush. So if somebody makes early Shabbos in the summer, or somebody really is chalashing for a drink by Kabbalah Shabbos, right? It's 10 minutes after Shkia, 15 minutes after Shkia. Can you take a drink? So it's the Rif, I think it's the Rif holds, it goes with Seis, not with Shkia. So it's a Machlokes. So the Maisa, there are Paiskim that say, push comes to shove, if somebody needs a drink. You could be samech on the shitas that hold, that's not Shkia. Obviously the Velt, it's not Shkia, that's it, you got to stop drinking. Right? But the Maisa, if it's a tzairich or somebody needs to take medicine, right? Somebody needs to take medicine, whatever, they have a headache and it's before Kiddush and it's in the summer, or if it's after Tzeis, and then there's really no heter. Just make Kiddush and then take the medicine. But if it's a few minutes after, so then there are makilim. Again, it's not lechatchila, but there are makilim. Okay, so now weiter. So weiter in Gemara. Sover mi no ki heri de kavala Kiddush ka kavala Havdala. So the same way it's kaveya for Kiddush, so it's also kaveya for Havdala, right? Meaning you have to stop eating until you make Havdala. Meaning you're sitting eating shalosh. This happens out every week. For me, I end up washing after Shkia, but that's a different. That we're going to get to that sugi in a minute, right? But Lamaisa, the same way, if you're eating Friday afternoon, you have to stop eating by Shkia or Tzeis, whichever one of the Rishonim you want to go with. So that my Memela, they thought, okay, so by Havdala too. So right when it hits Shkia, you got to stop eating Shalashudas. So Amalu Rav Amram, Hachiyam Rav, the Kiddush Kavas, the Laila Havdala Kavas. It's Kaveya for Kiddush and not for Havdala, right? And why? Because the Rashbam says, and it's a Pasha Desvara, because by Shabbos, you want to bring in Shabbos right away. You want to be Mechabed Shabbos. By Motzei Shabbos, if you stop eating, it shows that you really want to get rid of Shabbos. But since we continue eating because we want to show that we're not in any rush. We're not in any rush to stop Shabbos, right? But that's only stopping to eat. But you cannot start a Suda after Havdala, after Shkia, until Havdala. Yeah? So that's Umisak Namilayamaran. And also, we said it's only for the Achila, but for drinking, right? You have to stop drinking before Havdalah. If you're only drinking, you have to stop by Shkia, right? And that's only with wine and beer. But with the drink water is no problem, right? So we got to what it's saying here. If you're in the middle of a Suda and you washed before Shkia, you could continue eating until whenever you want, right? Or at least until Meider. Drinking, though, you have to stop drinking by Shkia. Or, well, if you say that it goes with Tzeis, then by Tzeis. But whatever, you have to stop at some point. Unless it's water is no problem.
What do you do with this year, Erev Pesach? This year, Shabbos,
that's the million. Right, so we're going to get to that in a minute. We'll discuss it in a minute. Let's just finish this whole thing and then we'll discuss it. Rav Huna chazi alahu gaver the shasam maya koydem Havdala. This disagrees with Rav Huna because Rav Huna saw a person drinking water before Havdala. Amarle loy mistafi mar me askara. You're not scared of askara. Askara is the type of the same thing. If you eat fish and meat together, it says it's askara, and other sakanas. It's a misa mishuna. And you're not afraid of that? The Tana Mishmei Rebbe Kiva Kol HaTayim Klum Koydem Sheyavdal Misasei V'Askara. Somebody who tastes anything before Havdala is his mitzvah was going to be with Askara. So the Gemara answered, Rabbanan de Ravashi lekav de Amaya. The Rabbanan and Ravashi are not makbid on water, right? So they weren't. They were not makbid. So the Mamela is not a problem. Yeah. Fine. So now, okay.
The arguing of water is what causes askara?
Correct. Yeah. So now what the pshat in that is because the point that the neshamas go back to Gehenna after Shabbos, right? Since they go back to Gehenna after Shabbos, so it's not right that you're going to be eating and drinking, and the neshamas are going to go back to Gehenna, right? So now here's the thing.
It slaps the person who does it to
No, it just shows it's like an insensitivity to the neshamas. Okay, now, huh? Why? Because you're benefiting yourself, and the neshama is about to go back to Gehenna.
But if you take Suda Shal Shudis,
No, if it's Mitayich Suda, fine. Oh, go ahead. So one second. So now this next Taisvis, look at the Taisvis of Hani Mili Dachlu V'Shasu. Yeah, Taisvis Hani Mili V'Shasu very negated to this mamish, to this Erev Pesach Shabbos Shabbos. Mashma shall you oichlim b'Shabbos samach l'chashecha. Sounds like the minig was to drink when it got close to dark, meaning before Shkia, whatever it is. The Tema Taisa says the minig is not to eat between Mincha and Ma'ariv. The Gamar Rabbeinu Tam Kasa Rabbeinu Meshulam Shehinig Lecho Bein Mincha LaMa'ariv. The Amar B'Medish Hashoysa Mayim B'Shabbos Bein Hashmashos. If you drink water B'Shabbos Bein Hashmashos, Geizeles Kroiv of Hamesim. You're stealing from your relatives who are Mesim. The Kasav Shapam Achas Ira Maisa. Right on Erev Yom Kippur to eat after Vidim Mishum Shikrus. V'gam Tisha B'Av Shechalias. That's on Erev. That can't happen anyways. And we already discussed that Yom Kippur can't fall out on Sunday, right? V'gam Tisha B'Av Shechalias b'Shabbos v'nitcha Tiru b'Kaishi. Yesh litchos the Ma'ari Hachash Estilu beheter. Here we're talking about when you started eating beheter. V'emsa Suda Hispalel Mincha. And then in the middle of the Suda, you daven mincha, v'hechet eschila beheter mutar lahashlim. Where you started beheter, it's mutar lahashlim. Whatever it is, comes out according to Rabbeinu Tam when he's supposed to eat shalashudas. Before mincha, right?
or you could daven
Comes
mincha
out-
early, after mincha, and you could eat it like today at 4:00.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Lefi Rabbeinu Tam what the din is there. If you daven mincha gedayla, can you eat after that, or he holds between mincha and ma'ariv, no eating? Definitely, if you daven mincha kitana later on in the day, Rabbeinu Tam holds you got to eat shalashudas before mincha, right?
So he would tell you that
It's a big
from
machlokes.
9 mitisha shows of machzor you can't eat anymore.
Yeah, according to Rabbeinu, yeah, that's what Taisa just said.
Even to
Yeah,
sit
that's
to
what he's
wash
saying.
and sit down to a meal, a shal shudis.
Yes, yeah, that's what Rabbeinu Tam Shita, and it's brought. The Shita is brought in Shulchan Aruch that you're supposed to eat shalosh shudas before mincha. Yeah, I mean we paskin now. We paskin you're supposed to. There's I think 3 shitas in Shulchan Aruch, if I remember correct. But
this is a
but
scary thing here.
Well,
It
to
is,
the people-
Geisel is clever.
to the people who keep Rabbeinu Tam for Motzi Shabbos, they should do this. Or they will get
You're right.
excited. Motzi Shabbos, Rabbeinu Tam, whoa. they
Taka,
should do
good
this.
point.
Let them try this.
It's a good
So
point.
they should also have them mezuzahs flat on the doors because Rabbeinu Tam said something.
No, but it's negeya to this, meaning if you're
That's
keeping the
achila.
Shabbos to Rabbeinu Tam, and then you're saying you're eating now at the same time, right? Here it's more negeya to the same
Right,
psak,
'cause-
maybe.
Because some of the same words are in it.
No.
No, what do you mean? It's if you're saying it's Rabbeinu Tam, that means you're
Yeah.
holding that it's still Shabbos. But Rabbeinu Tam holds
Rabbeinu
you
Tam
can't
didn't
eat now.
say what Shabbos is. It says when Shkia is. It's not even Shabbos.
I
Happens to
understand,
be
but
most negayah to
I
us by Shabbos. But
fair enough. That's the other side of the argument. That's the other side of the argument. Anyways, the point is the bottom line is, can you drink lamaisa? Can you drink water? Let's say you bench shalosh shudas. Can you drink water before Havdala or not? So we paskin, yeah. Oh, it's fakir from this. It's fakir from this Gemara, right? So the bottom line is we don't paskin like this Gemara. We don't paskin like this shita that holds that it's like that it's considered dangerous. So Mamela, you're allowed. How do you know you don't paskin like the shita that's dangerous? Because most people eat shalosh shudas after mincha. So if you eat shalosh shudas after mincha, that means you don't hold the Rabbeinu Tam. Right, the two go together. If you eat shalosh shudas after mincha, then that means you're allowed to drink after mincha too and before Havdala. If you hold that you're not allowed to drink, then the point is then you should be eating shalosh shudas before mincha. Right? Bottom line is Lafi Shitas Rabbeinu Tam, you have to eat shalosh shudas before mincha, which is what a lot of people, which is what we're going to be saimach on Erev Pesach Shechal b'Shabbos. Right? Those that are going to wash 2 meals in the morning, right? Let's say you're going to eat 1 meal at 9 o'clock in the morning, then you're going to bench, take a walk, whatever it is, and then you're going to eat another meal at 9:30.
What's the other option?
What?
What's the other option? Not to have shalosh shudas?
Oh yeah, if you don't want to eat shalosh or eat fruits and vegetables later after mincha. What the fruma are going to do is they're going to have 2 meals in the morning, and then after mincha they're going to eat vegetables or fruits, vegetables, learn some Torah, whatever it is they're going to do. That's the frumist, right? That's the fruma way to do it.
They're very hungry.
That's the point. That's a shtick of the point.
Yeah.
You're sacrificing Einik Shabbos,
Right.
right? Now the question is, so if you started drinking before Shkia, you obviously can't continue drinking after Shkia, right? Or 10 minutes after Shkia, whatever, right? But what about mezainis? Let's say I started eating mezainis before Shkia. No, really, can I continue eating mezainis after? Is that considered a suda or not? So I don't remember what the price can say. I meant to look it up today and I forgot. It's not clear if eating mezainis is allowed. Meaning somebody comes in for shalosh shudas, he said, I'm not washing. I'm just gonna have a piece of cake. Okay, so that's a piece of cake. 20 minutes after Shkia, decides he didn't say ala michi yet, he wants to have a drink. Everybody else washed, so they're all eating and drinking, whatever. This guy wants to take a drink. If you hold it's not part of the Suda, you're not allowed to. Right? It's only if you're mamshich the Suda.
If most of the Rishonim hold, or many Rishonim hold, it can be Yotze Shalosh Sudas with Kneblach, that means it is a Suda, by definition. If Mezaitis is a Suda, why can't I continue?
Right, I hear. I don't know.
According to most, it's a kaviyah suda enough for Kiddush. Right? We had that last week. If it's kaviyah suda enough for Kiddush.
Yeah, so the question is, there's different kviyas and there's different parameters for different halachos. I don't know if it's the same gather. Right? Because then you could tie in if it's already a suda, then you have to wash if it's cake, right? Because it's a kaviyah suda, possible with you got to wash. Correct. So then, yeah, okay, whatever it is. But the interesting zach, no, this is important, Taka. Yeah.
So what Gershon is saying, Kneilich becomes mezainis. Is that what it means? If you eat,
it depends what you make it out of.
You make kneilich out of. How do you make kneilich? What you take? I don't know how to make kneilich.
Non-gebrach steak knedel mix.
Non-gebrachs or gebrachs?
You take matzah meal and mix it with water and eggs and oil.
So why is it different than matzah?
That's mezainis.
No, because it's not mevushal. Because it's mevushal. Since you can't be yotze matzah, the gather is if you can't be yotze matzah.
Because it's mevushal. Okay, fine. I want to know what the dilik was. Okay.
Right. So, but the bottom line is, can you wash after shkia for shalosh shudas or not? It's mashma here. You're only allowed to be if you started your suda before, then you're allowed to stop. Right. So that gets into the same machlokes. Is shkia what did this, or is bein hashmashas? Right. If it's shkia, then you can't wash after shkia, which a lot of people are mocking to wash before shkia, because otherwise you can't wash after shkia, right?
We have Rav Moshe's 9 minutes.
Others say it has to do with seis. Others say it has to do with seis. Huh?
Do we have Rav Moshe's 9 minutes?
You got Rav Moshe, so for sure you have Rav Moshe's 9 minutes, and then the price can say really get 20 minutes. So Lamaisa up to 20 minutes, it seems to be the accepted psak. But the question is there a reason to be makbid to wash before shkia or not? In Brisk, of all places, they were not makbid wash before Shkia. So, but it's interesting because I don't think they drank on Friday after Shkia. I would imagine. I don't know, but I would imagine. So the two halachos are the same, right? If you hold you can wash after Shkia on Shalosh Shudas, then l'chayra you should be able to drink or eat after Shkia on Friday, right? Okay, whatever it is. Okay, we got to get going. Fine, but that's sugi. It's a very interesting sugi. Yeah, about 10, 12 lines up on the bottom. So Ravina asked the Shaila from Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Mishalei Kiddush Be'erev Shabbos. Ma'ashi Kaddish Vayla Kol Yom Kula. Somebody forgot to make Kiddush Friday night. Also negaya to last week, right? A guy got drunk, slept all the way through Friday night, woke up Shabbos morning. So what's the deal? So somebody who missed Havdala Motzei Shabbos can make Havdala the entire week, right? But we're going to say in the next daf that only means till Tuesday. It doesn't mean you have the whole week. So the same thing, if you didn't make Kiddush Friday night, you can make Kiddush the entire Shabbos day, right? Now you wouldn't say Yom Hashishi. You wouldn't say Yom Hashishi. No point in saying the Edis. You would just say the regular Nusach of Kiddush Friday night. You would say it's Shabbos morning. Also Havdala.
Kiddush Friday night.
It is the rice, but you forgot. You just forgot. What are you going to do?
Well, Havdala is not the rice.
So he's
not Havdala.
No.
So what
so
do you
you're
say?
saying-
What are you saying? You should say it during the day? Because
He's
it's
saying,
the
how do
rice,
you
you
learn
should
out
be able
Kiddush
to
from
make it up.
Havdala? He's asking, I think he's asking, how do you learn out Kiddush from Havdala? Right?
Yeah.
We're bringing a raya. If Havdala could be done till Tuesday, so Kiddush can be done all Shabbos. He's saying, what does one have to do with the other? The Adarabba. It's if Havdala, which is the Rabbanon, you do till Tuesday, so something that's a deraisa, you can for sure do on Shabbos.
You can't compare it. It's too.
But it's a kol shekain.
I don't understand.
whatever it
I
is.
have the
But by
exact
the way-
opposite question. What's the Havamina of the Gemara here that you don't make Kiddush? He still has this game of deraisa from last night that he wasn't Yaitse. Of course he made Kiddush.
No, because the Havamina was
He's going to make
Havamina
Kiddush during
was-
the day, but does he make the Friday night Kiddush or does he make the Shabbos day Kiddush?
He doesn't
Shabbos
say
we're
day
gonna
Kiddush
see that the
isn't
Shabbos-
Kiddush. It's just very pre-Guffin.
Okay.
right. So that's the next daf. That's the next daf. That's we'll get to that in the next daf.
Gershon, where were you when I needed you? Where I was sleeping. I didn't make Kiddush Friday night. I fell asleep 10 minutes before the daf, 4:30. And I
You were
woke up
singing
9:30.
you were singing a
I woke up
tune.
9:30 my daughter's couch to be out to the couch. I slept for 5 hours on the couch. I didn't make Kiddush. I got up and I went to sleep in the bed.
Yeah, so that was a common shiloh last week. That was it. Yeah. So you're fine, but that's what you do. But you don't make Yom Hashishi because there's no point. That's one. Also with Havdala, you don't make Aish. You don't make summon like we learned last week. Aish is negaya to. We didn't learn the Aish part last week. Summon is only negaya to at night when the Neshama Yisera leaves. So the Neshama Yisera is gone by Sunday afternoon, Monday, Tuesday. When you make an Havdala, it's already gone, right? The Neshama Yisera, you're not helping out your body with that. And Aish was created Motzei Shabbos, so Memela, that's why you do it. Oh, Garada, I forgot to say that. Remember last week we were handling if there's an Neshama Yisera on Yom Tov, the Tosfos. So the Gra says that's the makar that Yom Tov has is why don't you say Nishmas on Hoshana Rabbah? Right? We say the whole Yom Tov Dika Psuga de Zimra. We don't say Nishmas. I mean, it's clear that the reason is because it's not the real Yom Tov. But why not Nishmas? Because there's no Neshama Yisera on Hoshana Rabbah. So you don't say Nishmas. So I have interesting stuff. I forgot to say. Anyways, fine. So that's what we're saying. So you can do it a whole week. So Eisvei, Leili Shabbos, Leili Yom Tov, Yeshman Kedusha halachos, Yeshman Haskara birchas Hamazon. Friday night and Yom Tov night. Sometimes you could have Kedusha halachos, right? V'yeshman Haskara birchas Hamazon. And there's thing that you have to mention Shabbos Yom Tov birchas Hamazon. Shabbos Yom Tov ain't been Kedusha halachos. Shabbos and Yom Tov does not have Kedusha halachos, right? But they do have a mention that you do have to say that Haskar birchas Hamazon. And if you say that somebody who didn't make Kiddush on Erev Shabbos makes Kiddush the whole day, meaning this is talking about Shabbos and Yom Tov day, meaning there's no Yom Tov. Again, I should have said it before. Let's go back. I'm sorry. Esvei. Leili Shabbos, Leili Yom Tov, Yeshman Kiddush halachos, Yeshman askar birchas hamazon. You make Kiddush. You mention Shabbos and Yom Tov by night Kiddush. Shabbos v'Yom Tov, but Shabbos Yom Tov day. Ein b'em Kiddush halachos. There's no Kiddush halachos. Right? Meaning he doesn't mean Kiddush by the Priyagofen, like David, like you just said, that we do make, but there's no separate bracha of Kiddush during the day, right? Not on Yom Tov day, not on Shabbos day, but we do mention in birchas hamazon. So then if somebody didn't make Kiddush on Friday night and he makes Kiddush the whole day, Shabbos Yom Tov nami mishkachas u'diyesh ben Kiddush halachos, you do find that you can make, there is a potential to make Kiddush halachos Shabbos morning, meaning, excuse me, with the special bracha, right? Because if you didn't make Kiddush at night, so you do have to make Kiddush during the day. So you see that there is a situation where you do have the regular, legitimate Friday night Kiddush, Yom Tov night Kiddush during the day. Okay, I don't get the Hava meaning. The Gemara answers, I'm relate the E like Katani. We're not talking about if b'diavad cases. Lechatchila, right? Lechatchila, there's no such thing as a Kiddush Shabbos day and Yom Tov day. B'diavad, that's a different story. B'diavad, if a guy slept the whole night, so then that's a different story. Fine. Eitzvei, and this is also a major halacha here. Covered Yom Tov, covered Yom, covered Laila, covered Yom Kaidim. If you're gonna do something for covered, you have a limited amount of wine. So which comes first, covered Yom or covered Laila? So we say covered Yom Kaidim, covered Yom comes first, right? Meaning, so like the Rashbam says that you should have your special food. If you're having a special food for Shabbos, it's more important to have it during the day than to have it at night. And if you only have one kais, Aymer Allah Kiddush, down to Amud Beis, Kiddush Hayom, you say on that one kais Kiddush Hayom, Kiddush Hayom, Kadam LeKavod Yom, because Kiddush Hayom, being Mekadosh day, is more important than Kavod Hayom. So that means the next day you're not going to have wine, right? And if you're saying that if you can't make Kiddush Friday night, you can make it Shabbos day, so why can't you accomplish both? Don't make Kiddush Friday night. Right? Again, we're saying that covered your chashuv of food should be saved for Shabbos day. You have one cup of wine, so l'chari you should wait. You keep that cup of wine for Shabbos day. But the Gemara says no, because Kiddush Hayom is more important than Kavod Hayom. So being Mekadosh the day Friday night is more important than Kavod Hayom. So then the Gemara is asking, but if you're saying that if you don't make Kiddush Friday night, you make the Kiddush Shabbos day, so give all it. So then why don't I just not make Kiddush Friday night? And now I kill two birds with one stone. I could be Mekadosh the Yom and Mechabed the Yom with this one cup of wine during the day.
You can make Kiddush Leil Shabbos on Challah. Save the cup.
Yeah, theoretically you can make the Kiddush. Yeah, but if the lichatchila dik way to make the Kiddush is with yayin, so then Kiddush to be Mekadosh the Yayin with yayin is better than you doing it with.
If the person only has one,
bread.
So maybe it's better not to
if
make
he
it
only
at
has
night.
one,
Do it
still the
night,
Kiddush
like,
at night. You mean he's not gonna, because that's a different because you can't make alalechem during the day.
Right.
Right. So save
During the day you
kais-
can't make alalechem.
Save the
kais
kais
for
the day meal.
Yeah. So I guess this and Hanami. I think that's what we would say. But here must be talking about maybe doesn't have lechem either. But then how's the yotze kiddush makom suda?
Yeah. So that can I have that?
I
Yes,
guess, I don't know. I don't,
has a lot of
very good.
But it seems like he's not eating now Friday night. He's gonna.
But then he's not yotze kiddush. Then he doesn't have kiddush. He's not yotze kiddush.
For when?
No, Friday
That's
night.
what it's saying.
Kiddush makom suda.
Don't do anything Friday night. You're not having a suda either.
What's that?
Why not? Let him do
Well,
it.
if he doesn't have Kiddush, he's not eating, right?
You can't eat without Kiddush.
Right.
And he can't make
Listen,
Kiddush
that's
on
what we
Lechem
said-
because
that's
he
what
has
we-
Yayin.
That's what we're saying. You should use the challah at night.
I don't know if that would be mutter. He has Lamaisi, he has a cup of wine. It's not mutter if you have. Because I decided I'm going to leave it for tomorrow because I don't have enough.
Because he
I
has
still have it.
extenuating circumstances. Yeah, the guy never
I
has
still have it.
extenuating
Gus.
circumstances.
He still has a kos yayin in front of him. I don't know if the chal is mutter.
What's the issue? Mavirin ala mitzvahs?
What?
That's another thing. That was also you do the mitzvah you have now, and you worry about tomorrow, right?
Right.
Which was the taina was Purim too. Some of the poskim said, "Why eat your Purim Suda? And what happens if you're hungry Friday night? Good. You're not hungry. Shine. You do the mitzvah that comes to you first, and then you worry about it. That's what some taina, right? I don't know. I'm not sure. I hear the kasha. So exactly what's the case? Okay, but anyway, so that's the kavim isa l'shavke ad l'mochav eleven beitarti. Just wait till tomorrow and do both. Amalei chaviva mitzvah b'shaita. No, because it's chaviva mitzvah b'shaita, right? So you want to do the mitzvah in the proper time. So therefore, you make the Kiddush Friday night, even though theoretically you can do both Shabbos day, right? Fine. Now the question is, what? Is this different? Is this different than ein mavirin ala mitzvahs, like we just discussed? I mean, it's basically three rules that seem to say the same thing. Chaviva mitzvah b'shaita. Zrizin makdim in lemitzvahs. Why didn't the Gemara just answer Zrizin makdim in lemitzvahs? Right? And also ein mavirin ala mitzvahs. All three are negeya here. Right? Saying a guy has a cup of wine, says I could wait till tomorrow and then I could have the wine during the day and make my kiddush. So you have three choices to answer him. You can say chaviva mitzvah b'shaita, right? It's best to do the mitzvah. It's more love to do the mitzvah at a proper time. Or you could say zrizin matim in the mitzvahs. Or you could say ein mavirin ala mitzvahs. I don't know if it's ein mavirin though, because okay, whatever it is, that's a tumul also. Fine. Okay, so then Gemara says, "Omi amirin chaviva mitzvah b'shaita." Do we really say that a mitzvah is love to do it at its proper time? But Tanya nichnas a to Shabbos. Somebody who comes home to Shabbos, mevarech ala yayin, v'ala ma'or, v'ala b'samim. Right, you make a bracha on yayin, the fire, b'samim, v'achakach aimer havdala ala kois, and then you say hamavdu mikodesh chol. B'meilei ala kois echad. If you only have one kois, meaning for birchas hamazon, right? Yeah. So then manichoy ad la'achar hamazon, and what he does is he leaves, like we were discussing last week, 3 blot ago, right? You leave over the kois till after birchas hamazon, and then you put them all after birchas hamazon, and meaning, so basically you push off Havdala till you do birchas hamazon, right? This is talking about where he's in the middle of a suda, now he wants to make Havdala, right? So and he only has one kois. So what's he supposed to do?
Bryce started hanichnas lebeisei b'mitzvah Shabbos.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, what happened?
And
then he says, "You mean how's he in the middle of his meal?"
Yeah.
Maybe he went out to Ma'ariv.
Then you'd have the
unless
same
it's a new suda, maybe it's a new suda. Maybe it's taka. Maybe it's Malav Malka. Maybe. I always thought it was Shalosh Shudas, but you're right. Maybe it's Malav Malka. He only has one cup of wine in his house. You're right. I think you're right, Taka. I think you're right. I was thinking Shalosh Shudas, but you're right. He has one cup of wine. It's hard for us to understand this because we don't bench halachos. Even on Shabbos we don't bench halachos. But Kol Shekin during the week, right? But you're right. He has one cup of wine left. If he's going to make Havdala now, he's not going to be able to bench halachos. So what does he say to do? No, but then how do you eating before Havdala though? Right?
I was going to ask the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so then now we're back to mitzvah. So then we're back to what? I don't know.
It happened earlier. It wasn't like Shabbos yet.
Oh no, I think one second. It's a Taisus a few blot ago, Taka. It's a Taisus a few blot ago. Rabbaran, this is for you. Taisus says in this situation we let him eat before Havdala. Right? And some, there's always I know you love this stuff. Like, okay, in this situation we're gonna let you eat. Taisus Dibra Maska, Taisus on Kuf Beis Amud Beis. Manichal Achar Hamazon. It says Hiksha Rav Nisim Eich Yochel Kaidem Havdala Hamnina Lekaman Asaladam Shiyitan Klum Kaidem Sheyavdil. right? But the Tosfos at the end says, "Bechinam you shouldn't eat." But if you only have one kais, then it's mutter to eat. Then it's mutter to eat in order to be able to make birchas hamazon ala kais and havdala ala kais. Mamela, will they allow you to eat even before havdala? Which
Wow,
just
that's
shows
amazing.
us, right?
That's
It
amazing.
is. And all of us just fight the making the birchas hamazon ala kais, and the Gemara Tosfos is saying that it's enough of a reason to bench ala kais. We let you eat before havdala. Right? Okay, but you're right. So Lamaisa, you're right. It's Malava Malka, and yeah, okay. Either way, so he only has one kais. We tell him to combine all our kais. The one do you say chaviva mitzvah b'shaita? He came home right after Shabbos. Right now is a mitzvah Havdala. Make the Havdala. Oh, you won't have a cup of wine for birchas hamazon. No, shine, but the chaviva mitzvah b'shaita. That's the Gemara's kasha. So he told him, I'm not a chacham, and I'm not a navi, right? Meaning, and I'm not a yochid, right? Well, really, the Rashbam says it's not. I'm not saying it as a das yochid. I learn, and he's saying like I do my thing, right? Gemarna v'sedarna. I learn. And I go over I learn things properly. And this is the way they paskin. That right? This is a major rule. That we differentiate between a Yula Yoma Friday night when Shabbos is coming in, La Fuka Yoma when it's going out, right? Like we discussed last week with those that make light hadlaka ner Chanukah before Havdalas because you want to push away the day later. Right? As long as Friday night, the earlier, the faster you can make Kiddush, the better. And we're mechav, we love that, right? To be mekadosh Shabbos, but to go out and make Havdala macharinale, we push it off, so it doesn't look like it's a weight on us. It doesn't look like it's weighted on us that we're rushing to make Havdala. So the longer we could push off Havdala, we do that. What do you say?
Oh,
Okay.
Obviously
Anyways,
on Hanukkah we kind of bend this rule.
Well, it depends. This is Machlokes and Chanukah whether you should light the menorah before Havdalah or after Havdalah. The tzad should light the menorah before Havdalah.
First.
Yes, from this Gemara, Masha, you should light first, 100%. Okay, so Shema Mina, we learn from this Gemara. Shema Mina Miyah Masnisin Timni. We learn out 8 halachos from this brisa. Okay. Shema mina hamavda betfila tzarich yad al kais. Even though you made havdala and tefillah, you still need a kais, right? Because otherwise the guy came home, right? So why don't we say you already made havdala and shemana esrei? Shema mina bracha tuna kais, and we learn from this that the birchas hamazon needs a kais. That's very clear. Shema mina kais bracha tzarich shir, and you also need a shir. Otherwise, we just say take a little bit of wine, whatever's left over. Shema mina mavarach tzarich sheyitayim, and the one who makes the bracha has to also taste. Otherwise, just make the bracha ala kais and don't drink from it. The shmamino tamay pagmay, and then the shmamino, if you did taste from it, now you pagam it, you messed up the kais, and you have to de-pagam it, which we'll get to exactly how to do that. Shmamino tam avdil, right? And we learn from this that somebody who tastes food before Havdalah can still make Havdalah, because that's a big asik. If you ate food, if that not before Havdalah, if that knocks you out. The shmamino. And we say that you can say 2 kedushas al kais echad, even though we said last week that you're not supposed to do 2 kedushas. But that again, it says another. The Rashbam says, and the Tosfos says it too. That's if you don't have a choice, then you could do 2 kedushas on one. Shmamina, Beishamai, he valibed Rabbi Yehuda, and that this is talking about Beishamai, and it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda. Which one comes first? Right, like we said before, like which order do you say with the birchas hamazon and Havdala? So Shema Mina, this is Beishamai going according to Rabbi Yehuda. Right, we had a Machlokes, and what was the Machlokes Beishamai what was the Machlokes Beishamai Veshila, and so that's the 8 things that we learn out from this brisa. Okay, fine. A good talk, everybody.
Yes, Kaya.
Thank you.
All right, gotta cut it off because the lady's gonna start coming on now. Yeah. All right.
Any plans
Thank
for
you.
the
Have a good
CM?
I don't know. I gotta ask
Discuss
the
it
CM
tomorrow.
people. Yeah. All right. Good to know.
See ya.